If the Raptors do decide to move him, what could they get in a Pascal Siakam trade? And is OG Anunoby worth a max contract? Hey everyone, welcome to Inside the Raptors. Rob Wong, joined alongside by Ryan Wolstat of the Toronto SUN. And Ryan, Pascal Siakam showed out on Wednesday night with 33-7-7 against a team in the Hawks that has reportedly kicked tires on him in the past. If they do decide to go down that road and trade Siakam, Ryan, what do you think the Raptors would be looking for in a deal for a guy that's in the final year of his contract?
Well, it isn't the easiest to say. They're clearly looking for a lot because they've offered him in the past. And as you said, the Hawks sniffed around on him and the teams couldn't come to an agreement in the offseason. And last year, I'm not sure how serious the Raptors were about trading him, but definitely you would expect the price has to have come down because he's under control for way less now. He's only under control for a few more months. And now any team acquiring would get his bird rights, which in the NBA means that you got a huge leg up on any other team because you can pay him both more money and for longer. So that would still give a team an advantage, but there's no question the value is less now than it would have been at the trade deadline last year or even in this offseason. But I think the Raptors would still be looking for, even if they bring down their request down a little bit, they're at the minimum, they're looking for a first round pick, preferably more, a young player, a young prospect, and a veteran or two to make the salaries work that could help a bit. So if you're Atlanta, who has interest in him, you're talking about DeAndre Hunter, a veteran starter who's had some injury history, but is a decent enough player. Some sort of filler first round pick, maybe some seconds, because I think Atlanta owes some first still, or at least one first. And the thing they were fighting over in the summer was Kobe Buffkin, who the Raptors were really, really high on, a guard out of Michigan, who basically was a coin flip from what I've been told. Or pretty close with Grady Dick and Kobe Buffkin. The Raptors were very high on Buffkin too, but obviously went with Grady Dick, but the Raptors still desperately need guard help. And Buffkin, complicating things a bit, has been hurt all year, so you don't really know. He hasn't shown anything in the NBA yet, but the Raptors do like him. And reportedly, or for what I've been told, the Hawks in the summer wouldn't part with him. I don't know if that's changed now. I guess we'll find out. And then the other team that's been linked a lot to him is the Indiana Pacers, because there were reports out of the States last week that they really want to, in the wake of what they did at the in-season tournament, surprising everyone by going so far and playing so well, and just how they've been historically good on offense already, they want to add a sidekick to Tyrese Halliburton. And, Pascal Siakam, for all his faults, is one heck of a sidekick, as we saw when Kawhi Leonard was in town. So he'd be a really nice fit, and they have plenty to offer. They have a top 10 pick, Jarris Walker. They haven't even played at all. They have Buddy Hield, a great shooter, who's going to be a free agent. They have other pieces. They have Canadians, Benedict Mathurin and Andrew Nembhard, who both would look great in Toronto. And they have a bunch of contracts to make it work. So they make sense as well. And then Sacramento is maybe an outsider. They don't quite have as much now that the young forward Keegan Murray isn't really playing so well. He'd probably be a centerpiece of a deal. But those would probably be the three. And then there's always a dark horse team that sneaks up. But again, I think they'd be looking for a first or two, a young player, and a veteran.
Yeah, it definitely seems like there are options out there for the Raptors. It's all about whether or not they pull the trigger. Meantime, OG Anunoby is reportedly set to decline his player option for next season. And why wouldn't he? The guy's been absolutely incredible this year in the hopes of getting that new mega deal. Some have suggested, Ryan, he would get a max contract. And that sounds kind of crazy, but a lot of guys in the NBA get those big money deals now, even though they are not necessarily the superstars of the league. But it's clear that as a guy with a skill set of a 3-and-D player, OG Anunoby is worth a lot of money, but is he worth a maximum contract?
Well, OG's in a nice position because he's going to be in huge demand. He's great at what he does, which is defend as well as pretty much anyone in the NBA, and hit open 3-pointers about as well as anyone in the NBA. So that's quite the skill set. And even if he is limited in some other areas, that's going to get you paid. I think a max is, like you said, a little crazy. I don't see that happening, a max. But it only takes one team to say, look, this is the guy, the broadcast deal is going to go up and this max isn't going to look so bad in 2 years when the new CBA is signed. But I don't think the Raptors even let him go. I think they've made it clear over the years from anyone I've talked to in the organization since the day he was drafted to the present, to what people outside the organization are saying, that they value this guy extremely highly, like higher than Pascal Siakam, higher than anyone but Scotty Barnes. So I don't think they're going to let him go. I mean, will they have to pay him the max? Like I said, I don't think so, but the thing in OG's favor also is he was on a sweetheart deal for the Raptors in his last contract. Like I still, to this day, I wrote about the day it was signed. I do not understand why he took that deal from them. he was really underpaid, and he's going to be looking to get some of it back. So I think he's going to do quite well. I think it'll be a little shy of the max, but as you said, unfortunately, he can't opt out now and sign an extension because of the vagaries of the NBA salary cap. They can only give him a new contract for a certain amount, and it's certainly less than what he'd get this summer. But he will get paid in full, maybe not quite in full, but very close.
Yeah, someone like you said is definitely going to give him the money, and we'll see if it happens in Toronto. As always, leave your Raptors thoughts in the comments section below, or send us an email at torontoraptors@postmedia.com. For Ryan Wolstat, I'm Rob Wong. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.